It's time for our final session for the day. Healthcare providers are harnessing disruptive technologies to help patients take control of their physical, mental, and emotional well-being in non-clinical settings. The panelists in this session will share the big picture with us on the topic value-based healthcare models, the rise of patient-centered care through digital health services, and home-based care through remote patient monitoring. I request you all to welcome on stage our moderator and the panelist on stage, Dr. Sanjoy Mitra. A big round of applause.
Hi everybody, I am Sanjay, representing SMSRC. The full name of our organization is Strategic Marketing Solutions and Research Center. So before we get into the topic, let me invite the other panelists and introduce them. She has already introduced them. So on my left, Dr. Adit is the MD of KD Hospital from India, Ahmedabad. Then next to him is Amit Fayaz, Advisor Health Investment and PP's Dubai Health Authorities. Then on my right, Alessandro, he is the CIO of Healthcare Division Mark from Switzerland. And Praveen Vadalkar, co-founder Texir and Speak and Grow. So I think one of us is missing in this panel. So essentially, we would like to restrict the discussion within how can we deliver better healthcare by using digital platforms. So that will be the theme of this topic. And let's share our own experience and point of views. And then we would invite few questions. We have little less time, so we'd like to conclude within next half an hour. So Dr. Adit, would you like to start? I think it's on.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Adit Desai, and I'm from India. By degree, I'm a doctor, and by profession, I'm an administrator for my hospital. So healthcare has always been an integral part of, technology has always been an integral part of healthcare. But slowly now, I think technology is not only assisting healthcare providers, but it's also trying to replace healthcare professionals across the world. With introduction of artificial intelligence, augmented reality, blockchain, data analytics, CRM softwares, etc. Healthcare is getting a complete facelift healthcare today is not just about providing the correct treatment to the patient, but it's also about analyzing the data and interpreting the patterns by which we can improve the line of treatment and provide utmost patient satisfaction. But the hurdle I feel currently, which is not letting us go towards a 100% implementation of these technologies is, I think, is failure to adapt to this change. The complexity of these softwares and of course the training protocols, but I think in the next 10 to 15 years we will be able to implement all these technologies with optimum efficiency.
Thanks, Dr. Adit. Alessandro, what would you like to say and referring to the topic?
Thank you. So thanks for asking. About the digital healthcare, so that's, as you may have read, I'm the CIO of a pharma company, Merck. Merck is a company that plays multinational across country. And then as a CIO, digital is my bread and butter, so that's my job. Now, I love the first panel that we have late in the morning because he highlighted one point. Technology today is more the problem than an enabler. And I'm saying this being a technologist. Why is that? Because exactly you said it before, we should design technology to enable care, to enable patient centricity, whereas today technology is designed per se. So it's a sort of standalone proposition. And that's why I love the concept that was said this morning that, again, digital should be an enabler to get better health. That's the concept that I fundamentally believe it. And that's a concept that also my companies try to sponsor it. Because again, it doesn't exist a digital plan. It exists a digital enabler for the patient, for healthcare industry, and for each of us.
So both the speakers, as they highlighted, I don't think we need to reiterate this fact that information is essential, and to look at the future and serve the future, I think information has to play the pivotal role. Now, how do we capture information and how do we strategize based on that information is the challenge. So there are tools available, so many tools available now. I don't think technology, there is any dearth of technology, but how can we use those tools more and more effectively to get the information collated properly, looking at the objective. So Praveen, let us share your thoughts.
I remember asking sir that how much time we have for giving introduction. He said 1 or 2 minutes, so let me consume that 1 or 2 minutes first, then I will come back to your question. I've spent around 18 years in the pharma industry now. I started as a medical representative, and from 2001 to 2010, I worked in companies like Ciplar and Baxi, and I left industry and I was a senior marketing manager in Milan. And in 2011, I was beaten by a bug called entrepreneurship. And then we started this company called Takaiser, which is a pure healthcare IT company, because unfortunately, the way other industries are changing with the help of technology, the healthcare industry is not changing. I'm talking about especially the marketing aspect of healthcare, the pharmaceutical marketing aspect of healthcare. Unfortunately, we are still addressing our marketing challenges with the very traditional approaches, where every industry is changing. In 2011, we started, and now we have a team of around 200 people, and we are providing IT solutions to more than 200 pharmaceutical companies across 13 countries. Coming to my view on this, I think we are so fortunate now that people are just a click away, not only in healthcare, in everywhere. And if we can use technology effectively, we can address some big and major challenges, which are the major challenges in healthcare, which is patient literacy, patient adherence, or building a community. I think the time has come where everyone has to invest on technology and digital marketing, leverage this, the best tool available right now at this point of time, and change the face of healthcare. These are my primary feedback on your questions.
Excellent, Praveen. I mean, you have walked into great companies, and you are yourself into this. I'm sure that will help the industry way forward. I will share my experience as well. Now, Mr. Said, what about your thoughts on this?
Sure, thank you. Let me step back a little bit, because I think the topic really is value-based healthcare models. And I know we've been talking about technology and technology playing a role and how to operationalize that, which is truly important. And particularly when you look at healthcare models of the future, it will play a significant role, right? But I don't believe it will replace the physician. It has to enhance and support the physician in the future. When you look at our region in the GCC, and when you look at Dubai as well, you've seen that the cost of healthcare has been steadily increasing. You know, even in years where the economy has been growing by 1 or 2% or 3%, healthcare costs have been increasing between 8 to 12% per annum. So what is the reason for this? In some years, yes, there's been an exponential growth in population. But to a large extent, it's because, you know, today people are living longer. Conditions and situations that would cause mortality 2 decades ago, it's no longer the case today, right? So people are living longer, they are surviving stroke, they're surviving, you know, heart attack and episodes, cardiac episodes. And because of that, you've got patients living with chronic diseases and chronic conditions for a much longer time. And that has a significant impact on the health system. We look at our healthcare data and our, you know, from a payer perspective, almost 70 to 80% of the cost actually comes from 20% of the patient pool, right? And you have studies across the world where, you know, patients with 2 or more comorbidities cost the health system about 8 times more than a healthy patient, right? So what needs to be done is you need far greater collaboration. Some efforts have begun in this direction, but you need far greater collaboration between healthcare providers, between payers, and to a large extent in our region, you've got either the government as a payer or the insurance system as a payer, whether that be social insurance or private group insurance, which is taken by employers for the employees and their dependents. So they've really got to come together, work with pharma companies, work with medical device companies, work with telehealth providers, and really look at patient cohorts, you know, patients with COPD, patients with cardiac conditions, patients with diabetes type 1. These patients need lifestyle change. They need a lifetime management of their condition. And you need to prevent these conditions from becoming episodes that need long-term treatment or acute treatment in a hospital setting, right? And that's where technology plays a role, but it does require all stakeholders to come on board, look at these patient cohorts, define what needs to be done, and work together in a very cohesive manner. The risk of not doing that is a situation where costs continue to grow and explode, and you have situations where now the insurance rejection rates are going higher and higher and higher. So imagine patients with some of these conditions, if they can't get their medications or they're getting, episodes of care are being rejected, then you have situations where it's leading to further burden on the patients, their families, and the community as a whole. So I think we need to see change in how we approach healthcare, particularly for patients with chronic conditions. That's the need of the day. And I do believe one point that I want to make, and Shanur is not here. She had to rush for a board meeting because our session got delayed. And she will tell you, because they're a volume player, they particularly look at affordable healthcare and focus on low-income groups. High quality healthcare comes with high volumes. High volumes and high quality go together. So when you consolidate these patient cohorts and you drive, management of patient conditions or treatment of patients of a similar nature to specialized centers, you're going to get much better quality and you're going to get sustainability and efficiency in terms of costs. So I think that's a very important point, and I think our region needs to look at that more proactively than we have in the past.
Right, Said. So if I can summarize what you said, we are talking about total healthcare encompassing the all factors together, not just giving a therapy to a patient. Absolutely so. Let me just share a small experience that I frequently, face. My wife happens to be a pediatrician, and she is a practicing pediatrician, as well as she owns a company and does a lot of clinical trials for various pharma companies. Now, being a pediatrician, you can imagine, middle of the night, the mobile rings, and on the other side, there is a frantic request, my baby is crying. So how can you help me? And I visited you a couple of weeks back, you have given me blah, blah, blah. Or at times, the patient doesn't even talk about that. Now imagine that doc has been treating so many patients. Now suddenly a mother calls middle of the night and asking for some therapy or some remedy so that the baby can sleep. Now same situation. Just think of this. The patient tells a number which will be a patient ID number, and the doc can look at the mobile app or something, even middle of the night, quickly that is possible, to see what was the last prescription or last few prescription or what was the disease that the patient was suffering from. It could be asthma, it could be so many various type of disease. Definitely there can be some solutions to that question or to that problem. But unfortunately, because of gap in information or gap of information, the doctor, even when he or she can, they are unable to provide solution. And the patient has to wait till the next day, next morning to visit the doctor physically and get the solutions done. And because of so many regulations, these days doctors, at least the two countries where I travel very frequently and stay, India and Bangladesh, I find doctors over phone normally would avoid to give suggestions to the patients. Now, in this kind of a situation, and let me also share with you what we do. Since 1977, the concept was laid in India, and since 86, I have been involved in analyzing prescription habits or prescription trends of more than 10,000 doctors across different specialty segments in the clinic. So you can imagine how many millions of data every day, every month we study. Studying various disease patterns, various therapy regimes by demography, by age, sex, everything. All the parameters that you can think of. And we provide services to the entire industry, not to any brand or any particular company. You think of a company, we are there and we provide them continuous service to develop strategies for offering better healthcare and, of course, earn better revenue and profitability, both. Now, in this situation, what we do is actually collect live prescription copies from the panelists, the panel of doctors across the country. For last few years, for more than 5 years, we have been trying to capture this information through digital platform or digital solutions. Me, my team member, I am in the second generation. The third generation is getting groomed over there. Anish, who is helping me in this project, and we have a team of 180 people across the country. We have been developing in-house organically some software tools using our experience and our past database to help the doctors to develop prescription online and create an archive. It's an Himalayan task. So we thought, let us take support from external agencies who are experts in developing software. We have studied almost all leading softwares which are available in the market at present in India, or few are available abroad. The basic key problem of getting this total solution built into the system in a country like India or Bangladesh or similar other developing countries is, it's a habit-changing solution. Now, habits are the most difficult thing to change. There are technologies which are excellent, but the patient or the doctor has to fit himself into that technology. There are hardly any technology or digital platform which is catering to the need of the patient or the aspirations of the doctors. So the development processes so far are developed in an arbitrary manner, which are based on more technology fundamentally rather than the aspirations. And therefore, there is some match and more mismatch. So we tried to cross this boundary. And we tried to create panels of doctors, panels of software specialists, and also our data and scientists. Together, we tried to develop a software. We developed that. We went to various doctors, and we are still doing that. We are trying to tailor that software to fit in exactly each doctor's habits. Just to share some information, in Calcutta, in recent times, we went to a KOL diabetologist. He's a famous diabetologist. When we went to him, he said, yes, we need it, and I must use it. We gave 16 visits. All that discussions that we had since morning, we have experimented everything. Still, we couldn't convert from his prescription writing habits to digital platform. Finally, he told us that I am extremely keen, but I really don't know why I'm not able to adapt myself to this technology. Now, at the same time, we are successful with many who are using it, and we have been trying to tailor the requirement as per each individual doctor. So we are trying to move on and try to create a situation where we can get this data. Now, what are the advantages? Quickly, if I can share some experience. When DPP-4 was launched in India around 2005, 2006, the sitagliptin was launched. Globally, as we all know, DPP-4 is twice a day. In India, it is once a day. Largely, it is once a day. So, science and practice, there is a difference. This strategy was based on data. What was the data? The data was the present treatment pattern over last 10 years or last 5 years, and how a new therapy can fit into that practice. There were two options. One, they go head-on with the present habits of the doctor, which was glimepiride, metformin, and all that, and try to claim that this DPP-4 will be a better diabetes controlling therapy, so let the doctor shift. None of the doctor would have agreed to shift from the existing therapy to this new therapy. Whereas, each and every doctor who said would not like to shift, but they would like to add a new therapy to have a better control of this diabetes control, and where the HbA1c will remain within less than equal to 7. So the whole objective of promoting this concept was not to have a better therapy, but to have a better diabetes control goal in 2005, not today. And since then until now, if we look at the emergence or progress of DPP-4 or SGLT2, in our country, the therapy has been more as an add-on and providing solutions to millions of people, which is quite contrary to the practices abroad. So all this and beyond can definitely be done or achieved by using healthcare, using digital platform where we can have a complete patient information and get access to all kinds of problems, comorbid conditions, as you said, as well as other wellness factors or other comorbid factors of the patient, and collate them together to get a better solution or provide continuous solutions to the patients. Now we would like to invite any one of you who would like to have any questions, or maybe we can continue this topic to add more point of views. Any questions? Please go ahead.
While waiting for questions, perhaps I can give 2 comments about what you both said. One, the collaboration that you mentioned is definitely very, very important. Because if we want to change something, it's not about the technology, it's really collaboration across the different players in the value chain of pharma. And second, another point that you mentioned, extremely rightful, is the habit change. So truth of the matter, technology adoption is not about technology itself, it's about the habit change that people has to do it. Of course, as technology, we should provide something that is user-friendly. Like, for instance, this was the brilliant iPhone of Steve Jobs, why I made so much success, because it was simple to use. That's something that we should provide, but then we should focus exactly to your point on habit change, because it's the adoption of technology that makes difference in healthcare and not the technology itself.